Hello, good morning. Welcome back again from the break. You're still live on Metro Sports with me, Michael Kofiodo. Right about time to get talking about Ghana's sporting infrastructure. And we're excited to have one who, over the last 10 years, has made a great deal of impact as far as development of sports infrastructure in Ghana is concerned. We also take the opportunity to have a conversation around the organization's 10th anniversary and see what impact they have made as far as sports in the country is concerned. Robert Tete Coleman is Chief Executive Officer of Wembley Sports Construction Company Limited, an expert in the area of sports construction. Good morning, sir, and thanks for the time.
Good morning, Michael.
Once
Thank
again,
you very much for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's taking time. And days, if not years,
Getting me here. It's not easy moving around and ensuring that the right things are done, especially when you are running a company that your services are needed across the length and breadth of the country. Certainly, you need to move. But let me say that you guys are doing extremely well. I'm extremely excited anytime I watch your program, your good self, your panelists, fantastic analysis. And one gentleman that I have also been listening to a lot has to do with Gattuso and Kanija. They are doing exceedingly well, and I'm always excited to be in the house. Yeah. You know, this place belongs to Joe Spon, so anytime I come here, I know I'm at home.
And anytime you come, the people here are also excited to see you.
I'm humbled.
So I know this morning is no exception. We're excited that
you're here. But to hear
you just mentioned that you travel the length and breadth of this country. So let me ask you, as an expert in the area of sports infrastructure, what is the state of sporting infrastructure in the country?
Oh, certainly, Michael, let me say that it is not the best at all. Okay. I have gone to a lot of stadia in almost all the 16 regions, and I am not excited at what I see in terms of the facility that we have in these various regions. When you look at the excitement in the league, and you go to the stadia, it doesn't run in tandem with what we must have at all. Okay. You just showed, is a EPL, and EPL, you see the excitement. Yeah. Because if you have a solid infrastructure, certainly people, when they come to the stadium, they will be excited about it. Just look at Accra Sports Stadium. I was in charge of Accra Sports Stadium in 2008. Is it 2008? 2008. Yes, Zoom Lion had a contract to clean the stadium. So I was mainly in charge of sanitation in the stadium, and I saw for myself the facility, the excitement in terms of the infrastructure that was put up over there. But now you go there, and almost everything is gone off. The washrooms are in a dilapidated state. The structure itself is not the best. And I think that we can do better, especially if you go to most of our stadia across the country. It's not the best at all. And I believe that the FA will have to sit and then talk to government and see how we can improve some of these facilities. Because if you go to the stadia, or if you go to a particular stadium and you are going to watch football, and you don't have the enabling environment, certainly you will not be excited. So it is critical and key. And that we
do you think that as a country, we have placed premium on our infrastructure and the sort of environment we provide at our match venues? Because I asked this on the back of your statement that if you go to the stadium and you don't find the place to be the right environment, people will certainly not come. And attendance at match venues is something we're grappling with. How has the poor state of our facilities contributed to this?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why people don't go to the stadium to watch football. Okay. Because the stadium, when you go to the place, it is not only to watch football, but it is also for entertainment. Okay. And therefore, if you go to a place that is not properly kept, certainly you will not be excited to go there. Like I'm saying, even the football pitch itself, that will lubricate the flow of the ball in terms of the excitement, to see the footballers moving and they being excited. When you go to the Accra Sports Stadium, for example, when they are playing football and you look at the quality of the grass, and you compare what we have in just here, La, there's a significant difference. Okay. The greeny nature of the pitch that will engender excitement is not there. So it is one of the major reasons why people don't find it exciting to visit our.
Have we placed premium on this as a country?
Absolutely
as
not.
managers of sport?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. In terms of our culture, in terms of maintenance, it has been very bad. I have always said that, look, even with this current AstroTurfs that we are constructing across the length and breadth of the country, maintenance is a major problem because the people have a view that once you construct and then you give it to them, it is theirs. And if you send them a contract that, look, let us do the maintenance for you. At the end of the month, you just pay this amount of money for those who come and clean, those who come and do the brushing, they add the granules and then maintaining it. They are not excited about it. So just recently, we have officially written to our clients, especially those who contract us to construct these edifices across the country, that, look, it is high time that they insist that maintenance is done and done well.
Okay, I see. So where is the gap? Because you said 2008, you were in charge of sanitation. You were excited by what you saw at the Accra Sports Stadium. And about 15 years down the lane, we're all not happy. In fact, Accra Sports Stadium is even in a better state compared to Esipon.
Certainly.
And look at Cape Coast, constructed just a few years ago, nearing 10 years. But we're not happy about the state. Where is the gap? What have we failed to do right?
Certainly, it is about investment.
Okay.
In the various stadia. That is one. We don't invest. Once we construct this stadia, we leave it and we don't invest. If you go to Wembley outside this country in the United Kingdom, consistently they are changing chairs. Consistently they are investing there and making sure that the investment that they have made in terms of the infrastructure itself is maintained, and then other facilities are added onto it. So let me say that we don't invest. Once we construct, we leave it. We fail to invest more in this infrastructure, and more importantly, we don't maintain. And that is the major reason why we are having these problems. Don't also forget that if you have one stadium in Accra, certainly there's enormous pressure on the stadium. And for example, in Accra, I'm very much aware that Accra Great Olympics, they play at the stadium. Accra House of Hope played there. Is it one of the teams in Legon Cities also played there? So almost every time there's enormous pressure on the stadium. I think it is high time that we invest in other facilities. For example, what we have in Legon currently. If we are able to invest there and we have other stadia, certainly it is going to reduce the pressure on the various stadiums that we have, and it is going to help us a lot.
So pressure is one of the things that is contributing to the poor state.
Certainly.
Of our
There's enormous pressure on the facilities because we don't have enough. And that is how come that it is AstroTurfs that we are doing. It is high time, like we've always been saying, we need to invest in it and make sure that some of these clubs can also own it in the various communities. Then we are going to reduce the pressure on the national stadium, because I don't see the reason why Accra House of Hope, for example, should be playing there. They should be able to have their own stadium to play. Then we leave the Accra Sports Stadium for very critical matches and for national matches to be played there. You go to England, you don't do that. Almost all the teams, they have their stadia, and that is what they use in playing their matches.
Okay. You can also join the conversation 0548 009 000, 0548 009 000. And already the man touted as the expert in sports construction is giving us solutions to some of our challenges. Let's do some messages that have come through our social media platforms and WhatsApp line. This one says, good morning, Michael. It says, okay, my name is Sunny. Please, I want to find out whether he can rehabilitate the Esipon Stadium and what it will take. Okay. This one says, the aftermath of a treble is always terrible. The agenda, City Play Europa, is agending. Marcos from Nkoko. Okay. This one says, good morning to you and your panelists. I think Liverpool is getting the job done gradually and we're winning the league this season. Okay. Kweku from La Paz says that I am glad that the man is in your studio. You've always spent time speaking about him and the work he does. It is important that we get the confirmation from the horse's own mouth. Okay. Good morning, Metro Sports. It says, please, I need your panelist who constructs the ASTRO TURF, Danjuma from Medina. Okay, Danjuma will get in touch with you after the show. This one says, wow, no wonder you say he's an expert. I've always spoken about the fact that there's too much pressure on our infrastructure. The pressure does not match the amount invested in maintenance. The Accra Sports Stadium, for instance, sometimes hosts matches from Friday to Sunday. A typical example is the Baba Yara Sports Stadium this weekend. There's an African game on Friday. A league match will be played there again on Sunday. And if there was a national team match, it would have been played at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. What time would the people even get to work to maintain the facility? Okay. Michael, critical example given to him. Okay, I'm sure you're trying to say given by him. Wembley only hosts the FA Cup semi-final and final games and very important matches. Apart from that, the national teams, the senior national team only, and the women's senior national team play at Wembley. Even the junior national teams do not play at Wembley. A lot of their matches take place in other venues. And when clubs have critical issues with their venues, they resort to Wembley. I think we should do same for Accra Sports Stadium. The only way to do this is to have alternate venues in the capital. The University of Ghana project mentioned by your guest is one typical example. I also feel that the government must partner the armed forces to put the Elwak Stadium in a very good state. The clubs in the Greater Accra region can share these two venues, and then the Accra Sports Stadium will have some rest. Okay. This is Johnson from Awoshi. Good morning to you, Michael. I think that sports infrastructure is very critical to the development of sports. But here in the country, we're only concerned about results, the Black Stars, and no other thing. We do not provide the right and enabling environment for these people, but we always expect results for them. I think that we must take time to invest in our sporting infrastructure. Okay, it says, good morning, Metro. This young man is doing an amazing job for Ghana. His pitches are of great quality. Good job, Wembley. Na from Soko. Okay. Okay, so one of our viewers asked the question. It says, if you are given the opportunity to work on the Sipon Stadium, and I'm sure by extension, the other stadia that or facilities that are not in a state that we're excited about, are you in a position to help?
Oh, certainly, because as we speak now, we have managed to train a lot of young men who have the technical know-how to handle some of these things. So it should not be a problem at all. If you go to Sege, if you see the edifice we have put there, we're class one. And don't forget that most of our pitches, we buy them also for FIFA preferred or approved producers. So that should not be a problem at all.
Okay. But how do we turn around the fortunes?
Yes, certainly we must invest. I have always said that we need to invest a lot of money in our projects, that is infrastructure. In the country. Because if you look at the budget, certainly this year's budget, I was trying to see massive a pump of funds or fund the allocation of funds to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, so that most of these stadia can be built, or this infrastructure can also be built for the various communities or regions. So the whole thing has to do with the fact that we must invest, and in investing, certainly we'll be able to get more of the stadia across the country.
Okay. We'll get to the levels where we speak about public-private partnerships. Some have said that it is the way to mobilize enough money for maintenance and all. And I know that you have worked with some private investors who have financed some of these projects. You have worked with state-owned institutions. And so what is your take on the proposal for public-private partnership in the maintenance or management of our sporting infrastructure?
Yes, when it comes to this PP, is or the public-private partnership, what I can say is that it is a very good idea because there are a lot of investors and there are a lot of public persons who or private people who they have the funding to do some of these facilities across the country. What government must be able to do is to sit them down, look at certain tax rebates that will be given to them. Then they will be in a position to help us construct some of this stadia.
Okay.
So I think that it is a way to go. It is a matter of government sitting down with them, knowing the terms, spelling out every responsibility that must be done between government and the private people. Then they can be able to take up some of these responsibilities. For example, if you go to Sege, what McDan has done there, it is a huge sports village that he's trying to construct. And I believe that if he gets or government gets closer to him, they will be in a position to sit down, know the terms that they are going to agree on, the various facilities that are going to be constructed. Then we can have a very huge edifice in Sege that most of these teams can also go there.
Now, a lot of the time when we get close to the industry players, the people who manage these facilities, and we try to question them why we're not having proper maintenance plan, why we're not executing the maintenance plan and all of that. They will tell you it boils down to money. The government, after constructing these facilities, is not willing or is unable to make enough funds for maintenance. And then they also tell you that they are not raising enough money to maintain these facilities. You manage some of the facilities you constructed, even for people. Are we in a position to make our facilities, our sporting infrastructure, profitable? Can it be profitable?
Certainly, it can be profitable, but when government does the investment, for example, government spends about 3 million in constructing an ASTRO in a community. Okay. Certainly, people go there to play football. There are those who play football there before the construction was done, and those people normally they give their pitch to them to play free of charge. There are others who also come to the place to use the facility, and then they pay some amount of money. A token is taken from them. These amounts of money that are taken from them, especially when they switch on the floodlights and they are playing at night, certainly they will be in a position to get whoever constructed the AstroTurf to do the maintenance for them. But sometimes government does this AstroTurfs, they leave it to the assembly. The assembly also then hands it over to the communities. Then maintenance becomes a problem. So I am of the firm view that the amount of money that they will collect from people coming to use the facility can then be used for the maintenance. So that the lifespan of the pitches would be
I'm even talking in reference
achieved.
of our national stadium.
Yes.
You look at the facilities there, you look at what it has, the opportunities, the potentials, and what we could use it for. Do you think that these facilities could be profitable?
Yes, because people do a lot of concerts around this the stadium. They go there, they rent it out. But you see, when you do this investment, you must know that, look, if you don't allocate funds, that, look, this funds is for maintenance, and you want to rely solely on funding that comes from these stadia, certainly you will not be in a position to maintain it. Okay. And that is how come we are seeing the problems that we are having there. So all that I'm saying is that, look, we need to maintain the place. And in maintaining the place, an amount should be allocated. And then also, in running the place privately, that amount that also they get from renting out can also augment what government brings. Then they will be able to ensure that proper maintenance is done to ensure that the lifespan of this stadia is achieved.
Okay. Now, this is let me put this question to you. Recently, some people within the football circles, we still have 10 regions.
Okay.
Yes, we have not aligned with the political. Okay. Yes, so we still have 10 regions, and people in the Bono and Ahafo region, we have had some calls from them for a major stadium, which will have the capacity to host international matches. There are some other people from other parts of the country, the Volta region, that are calling for standard sporting infrastructure. There are those that have argued that we should rather commit a lot of resources to the ones we already have that are in very deplorable states. Which of the two arguments would you support?
I would certainly go for a renovation of all the stadia that we have first. Okay. Then we'll be able to do massive investment in other infrastructure. Because if what you have currently, you're unable to maintain it, if you're unable to maintain it to suit the current playing environment for teams to come and use, why then do you invest in other ones when you know that you will not be in a position to maintain it? So if we have about 15, 20 stadia, our responsibility is to make sure that we
put them in good state.
Yes, we put them in good state. We do regular and effective maintenance. There's a lot of things that must be changed there. So currently, if we have the money, I don't see the reason why we should go and invest the money in other stadia whilst we can invest money in the already existing football stadia, so that we can be able to have decent places to play football.
Okay, we'll come back to talk about some other issues, but let's get talking about Wembley. Wembley Sports Construction Company Limited. How did it all start? At what point did you give birth to that dream?
Yes, thank you very much. Anytime I talk about Wembley, I get so, I don't know what to say, but it's like I never knew Wembley would be 10 years today. So I'm extremely excited. I'm proud of Wembley. And more importantly, I'm humbled to say that, look, we have also done our part. It started some 10 years ago when I just went to a place in Jowulu to play football. Then I saw this young Lebanese friend of mine who has put up a small edifice in Jowulu. When you go there, it is still, that facility is still there. So I asked him, how was he able to do this? Then he just gave me the processes that he had to undertake or go through. Then I said, look, we can replicate what we have in Jowulu, in Kotobabi, because moving people all the way from Kotobabi to Jowulu and then just getting them transportation to the place. When you go there, you also have to go and pay money. Why don't we look at the pitch that we have in Kotobabi? Because it's all about making sure that you have a decent edifice. So we spoke to him, and then he decided to tell us the way and manner he went about it. Okay. Then I told my friends that, look, we need to start one. So I joined him to Turkey. We met Reform Sports at that time. Then I spoke to them that, look, I need to buy a sizable pitch so that we can construct it in Kotobabi. Then we asked them to come and do the training for us there. So they came. We spoke to Accra Metropolitan Assembly, the then mayor of Accra, Honorable Alfred Oko van der Poy, and the minister then of local government, that is Honorable Every Ankra. They gave the first approval. Then we did the first one in Kotobabi. So when they came with people to come and train our staff here. Then we decided that, look, we also need to go to Turkey and go and do proper training, because they do consistent installation and construction of these pitches. So I took about 3 of the guys there. They stayed there for about 3 months. Myself, I also went there. Then we decided to get the needed skills, because I always believe that training is the cornerstone of readiness. And therefore, if you need to be ready to construct these edifices, you must be able to train yourself, because the people who came to do the construction and the installation, the amount of money that they charge, their hotel bills, their flight tickets and all that is very huge. So once we get the technical know-how, we will be able to do it ourselves. So they came, they trained us. Then Asamoah came to play in Kotobabi together with Stephen Appiah, Adebayo, and co. So when they came, they were very, very excited. Then Asamoah decided that, look, we need to get this AstroTurf in Accra Academy. So I've always said that when it comes to AstroTurf construction in this country, Asamoah is the pace setter, and I always hold him in high esteem for giving us the first opportunity to build or construct a private AstroTurf in Accra Academy, after which we started with Graceland Church, then the rest became history. So let me say that is our humble beginning. We went to Jowulu, we saw it, and we decided that, look, we can't be in a position to replicate what we have in Jowulu, in Kotobabi. Then we started.
Okay.
And the rest
so
is
Asamajan gave you your first contract?
Yes. And it is one of the things that I will always hold in high esteem for. Anytime I have the opportunity, and I'm thanking people who have aided Wembley to where we are. Because at that time, AstroTurf was not the norm, but it was Asamajan who gave us the first contract to do a private one for an institution like Accra Academy. So we did it. Then other people saw what we have done. We decided to market it. The Parliamentary Select Committee on Youth and Sports came to Accra Academy to have a look at what we have done. At that time, the former president, may he so rest in peace, former President Rawlings, also came there to commission.
That's the picture, right?
Yes, to commission that edifice. So this is the first one that we constructed, and thanks to Asamajan, I will always hold him high esteem for giving us this opportunity.
What do you make of the growth? Okay, I'll come back to you on that one, but you can share your thoughts. We have some messages here. Let me make time to go through some of the messages. This one says that, good morning, Michael. It says, the problem with our sports infrastructure is that the managers are always concerned about the money they will get, but not to maintain where they get their money is not their priority. Bernard from Kufuridua. Good morning, Metro TV. Kotoko will win the match against Hearts of Oak on Sunday, inshallah. Businessman from Kumasi. It says, please ask if the AstroTurfs constructed are international standard. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Splash from Tema Community 2. Okay. Splash. Don't worry, we'll make time to talk about this one. Okay, so David Atto sent us a message. David Atto is a colleague broadcaster. It says, are there other AstroTurf companies in the country? Seriously, there's only one, Wembley Sports Construction. Greetings to Coleman. David Atto here. Okay, David, good morning to you. It's been a while. Okay, my friend from Suhum Sector says, good morning. Please, I want to ask the man for our national pitches, Accra Sports Stadium, etc. Can the government invest in our pitches by moving away from natural grass to this kind of pitch? My brother is talking about, because I know for the fact that we can. Okay, says I also agree with him that our national project, stadia, should be managed by private institutions. Okay, so we'll come back to the conversation around converting some of our national stadia to AstroTurf instead of the natural grass. But let's continue with the Wembley story. What do you make of the growth over the years?
Phenomenal. I think that we, as part of the vision that we had, is for every constituency in this country to at least get an edifice that is a decent football a pitch to play on. When we started, I commissioned some national service persons to go across the country to count or to give us data, the number of gravel and sandy football pitches that we have. And it will interest you to note that the reports that we had over 5,000 and something football pitches. That is this gravel and sandy pitches. So that should tell you that the market is very huge. So we had a vision that every constituency in this country should be able to have an edifice like an AstroTurf so that we can play football. We are not by that saying that it is only AstroTurfs that must be constructed. Natural grass is extremely important, and we can also have some in the constituencies. But Wembley specializes, or we are specialized in terms of the construction of or the installation of AstroTurf. And that is why we decided to push that agenda, that every constituency, and you know, Michael, we have over 275 constituencies in this country. And if we decided to push an agenda that every constituency should have one fitted with floodlights, so that issue of we playing football only in the daytime can be curtailed so that at night people can also play football. I'm excited and humbled to say that, look, today when you go to Kutubabi, when you go to Ajingano, when you go to Madina, you go to Wali Wali, when you go to Tema, you go to a lot of places, over 55 places that we have constructed AstroTurfs, people are playing football at night. And at the same time, they have decent places to play. So the vision was to have one AstroTurf in every constituency. For example, look at Alajo. Alajo, His Excellency the President was there to commission it. Hitherto, anytime it rains, you can't play football on the pitch in Alajo. It's a very swampy area. But today, we have AstroTurf there, and I'm very much aware that Heart of Lions trains there, and they play football sometimes up to 4 a.m. Certainly, and now they are playing over there. So that is the concept that we are moving. We are not by any means saying that a constituency cannot have 2, 3, or 4, but we are saying that since we don't have money, let us start with this constituency. And I can say to you on authority that we have over 250 constituencies who are now begging for AstroTurfs to be constructed within their vicinity. So that should tell you that the market is huge, because we started from 2, and now we have over 100 and something AstroTurfs being constructed.
Talking about the clamor for more AstroTurfs to be built. In fact, the Domi Kwabena constituency, they will not forgive me if I don't put this across.
It's one of the constituencies
it's about the largest constituency. I know it's one of the top 2 in the Greater Accra region. But we not a single standard football pitch, not a single AstroTurf facility in Domi Kwabena. And I go there a lot because of Nagot Football Club. And anytime they say, when I talk about AstroTurf, I should talk about the fact that Dome Kwabena constituency needs an AstroTurf.
Yes, and let me say that I can't sit here and say the Member of Parliament over the Honorable Adwa Safo has done absolutely nothing in terms of that drive. I have been working closely with her for some time now, and I can say that she has written countless letters to some private people or companies, and also other public entities to come to her aid. And very soon I can see some light under the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel. I'll be speaking to her again, then we can be able to push. It is all about lobbying, and I can say that she has started lobbying in earnest, and very soon Domi Kwabena will get one. I know she has sent a letter to Ghana Gas, and I'm very much aware that she's following it religiously to ensure that we also get some. So let the young men know that their MP is working assiduously to provide them with one.
Okay. There was also a question whether the pitches you construct are international standard.
Oh, you see, this issue, Michael, thank you very much for raising it. And it is one issue that Dr. Randiabi has always been speaking about. Yeah. When we talk about international standard, first of all, we must be able to talk about the quality of the grass.
Okay.
Secondly, has to do with the fact that you must be able to meet some dimensions. And then there are certain qualities of the football pitch that must be met. When it comes to the quality of the grass, we don't buy our grass from any other producer than CC Grass.
Okay, CC Grass.
CC Grass.
I know CC Grass is one of the accredited.
Certainly.
It's number 1. And then there's also Hatco.
Yes, and the rest. Greenfield and the rest. Yeah. But you see, you need to buy from a recognized producer. And even with the producer, they are great. But FIFA gives approval to certain specs that you need to get. For example, the yarn and the fiber that they use in the manufacturing or the production of the grass must meet certain international standards. Okay. And when you go to CC Grass, you will get them. So in terms of the quality of the grass, I can say without any equivocation that Wembley, we have been ensuring that we get the quality. When it comes to the size, that is where the problem is. Michael,
why is that a problem?
The issue has to do with the fact that when you are bidding for a contract, it is the terms of the contract that you go and implement. Okay. If they ask you to produce a 6,000 square meter AstroTurf, that is what you must do. And most of our politicians, they have specific areas that they want these AstroTurfs to be installed or constructed for them. and therefore you have nothing to do but to adhere to what they tell you.
Okay.
Most of them also say that, look, we are not constructing this AstroTurfs for international matches. It is also for community engagement. We are going to have our derba on it, parties on it, weddings on it. Muslims are going to pray on it. They are going to have crusades and all those kind of national events on it. So they want it in a particular area. When they ask you to do it in a particular area, you cannot go and tell them that, no, this area, we cannot do a 70 by 100 AstroTurf, and therefore I want to go and do it somewhere. So the responsibility is on those who give us the contract, the terms of the contract,
but do you,
and the size.
But do you also not explain to them? Because
certainly,
and I've had this reaction from a number of the people, especially the politicians who contract you to do this, that, oh, it is not for professional football, it's for community development. And I asked that, okay, there are third division clubs, there are second division clubs in these communities. And these clubs have the potency to one day play and qualify, say, up to Division 1 level. So if we are doing this and we say it's community-based, the clubs are also in the communities. Do we not do these projections? Is it that, but as a contractor, do you also not bring these issues to their attention?
Certainly, it's one of the things that we do almost every time, to the extent that we have even engaged GFA. And the president, the GFA president, is very much aware of this, to the extent that we went for a formal notification or a formal letter to be written, so that when we are bidding for this contract, we send it to them so that they will be mindful of the fact that these are some of the dimensions that must be adhered to. Okay. But you see, it all boils down to funding, because the bigger the size of the AstroTurf, the more money you are going to invest in it. Okay. So if they have an amount of 4 million cedis and they want to invest in about 3 communities, certainly they will not ask you to go and invest all the 4 million in one particular community, whilst the other communities are also saying they are yearning for this AstroTurf. So it is something that we always engage them. We bring it to their attention that, look, let us look at other places that we can have a much bigger AstroTurf so that some of these teams can use it. But the politicians and the financiers will tell you that, look, we don't have money. This is the park that we have, and therefore you need to take it or you leave it. Let me give you a classic example. When we're doing this edifice at Prisons, just Accra here, Boston, when we got there, the dimension, the park was very big. So we needed to notify GFA that this is what we are doing there. And let me say that Kurt, or the president of the GFA, drove to Ghana Gas, had an engagement with the CEO of Ghana Gas, Dr. Benasante, a man I have tremendous respect for. And he quickly called us that, look, we need to enhance the dimension so that they can adopt the place for national matches. And that's exactly what we did over there. When we did Ofuanse Ayiribi, I engaged the Minister for Information, who is the MP for the area. I told him that, look, per the dimensions that GMPC they are giving, it will not be suitable for national matches, and therefore we need to expand it. Then he acceded to our request. We wrote officially to GMPC, and today we have that edifice over there. National matches are being played on. So, Michael, we try very hard to also do our contribution, try and engage them. But sometimes people, when they insist that this is where they want it, you have absolutely no control, and what you need to do is to just go and perform.
So Wembley is not to be blamed for
certainly
the size
certainly,
of
certainly.
the because that's a major concern.
Certainly, if I have, for example, tomorrow we will be commissioning one AstroTurf in Edukrum. Edukrum, for example, when we got there, the land that is available that was given to us by the MP was not that huge. So we drew their attention and said, no, this place, when we do the AstroTurf there, national matches cannot be held there. But that is the park that the community is used in playing football. They are used to that particular place, and they insisted that you need to do it there. So, Michael, if I go and put up this edifice over there, based on the contract that I have. Why should I be blamed for putting up an edifice that doesn't meet the dimensions?
Okay. You still live. So for those of you that have issues with the sizes of the pitch, I'm sure that it's been thoroughly explained by the Chief Executive Officer of Wembley Sports Complex. And also, I remember that there was a point that FIFA sent a representative to Ghana to inspect one of the facilities or some of the facilities you did. What exactly did they come for? And what was the reaction?
Okay,
because we saw that they said they had given certificate. That was the Medina.
Yes, that was the
Medina
pitch. They came, they looked at the contract that we had, the terms, and they were extremely excited about the fact that we had been able to meet all the terms. And you see, when FIFA come and they want to validate or certify or approve a particular AstroTurf that has been constructed, one of the things that they look has to do with the quality of the grass and the fact that the ball is bouncing well, it is moving well, and all that. Once it also falls within the range that FIFA has approved or endorsed, then they will be able to validate it. So when we started, we said, look, let us challenge ourselves. Yes, we've gone to Turkey, we have gone to learn the skills, but let us subject ourselves to the validation process. So we wrote formally to FIFA. At that time, we bought that grass from Hatco. They came and then they looked at the work we have done, and then they saw that the pipe works, the flow of the ball, when it rains, it's not a flooded area, you don't have stagnant water on it. Then they decided to validate that particular piece. So let me say that I am extremely excited and humbled to say that Wembley is the only local company in West Africa, if not Africa, that has used local persons to construct an edifice that has been validated by FIFA. And on that basis, we always say that we are proud to achieve that particular height.
Okay. Now, in 2018, on the back of the elections in 2017, Wembley launched the One Constituency, One AstroTurf project. How far have you gone with that project?
It has been fantastic, because when you look at where we are coming from, I indicated to you that we started from 2 pitches and today it is over 100. Wembley has been able to do about 55 of them, and we are still counting. As I speak to you now, we have 5 or 6 sites that we are working. Techiman, Sunyani, we are at Nalerugu, we are at Jomoro, we are at Kwabre North, and then we are also working in Drabin. These are the current projects that we are working on. So I must say and commend government for it. It is an idea that we push. And here, let me salute the former Minister for Inner Cities and Zongo's Development, Honorable Boniface Sedic. When we started the concept, we approached him, we did a presentation to him. Then he decided, like, look, let me try you guys and for you to construct 3 of the AstroTurfs. So Medina was allocated to us. Then we had Chibi together with Wali Wali. And then we performed to the expectation of the minister and the ministry together with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They came to do the inspection. AESL, they were the transaction advisors. They certified what we have done. Then we started propagating the agenda. We went to Parliament, invited them to come and have a look at what we have done. We sold the idea to Ghana Gas GNPC. And today, we have other companies coming in to construct most of these pitches.
When you look at what you sought to achieve at the time you decided to go into this and where you've gotten to now, what do you make of the level of impact you have made in football circles, general sports infrastructure, within our communities? What is the level of impact over the years?
Yes, Michael, when you compare the amount involved in constructing one AstroTurf, especially with the current dollar rate, and you look at the fact that a lot of countries in West Africa, they don't have what we have in Ghana, I must say that, look, we have also made giant strides or a significant impact, even though we have not been able to construct these AstroTurfs in all communities in the country or all the constituencies. As I speak to you now, like I indicated, over 100 AstroTurfs are being constructed within this short span. That should inform you that some remarkable achievements has been made, even though there's more room for improvement. And I am very much aware that in 2024, getting to the election year, most of these politicians will lobby hard to be able to get these AstroTurfs within their constituencies so that people can have decent places.
So how many constituencies have you covered so far?
Oh, so far I can say that we have covered about 35 constituencies.
Okay.
We have covered about 35 constituencies, and we are also very much aware that other companies have also come in and they are also constructing these projects. I have always maintained, Michael, that we are not into competition at all with any.
Yes, I was going to ask about the growing competition in the industry.
Yes, it is a welcoming development.
Okay.
I have always maintained that we have over 5,000 and something gravel pitches. If government contracts Wembley today to construct, or certainly will not be in a position to do so. But as a pace setter, we are always excited in what we are doing. Most of these companies that you are seeing around, they are getting their workers or their laborers or the people that they use as a result of the training that we have also given to other people. Okay. So once we are the pace setter and we have been recognized in the country as the leading construction in AstroTurfs, we are always excited. My only plea to them is that, look, we are pushing an agenda and we need not to fizzle this agenda out. Let us try very hard to use quality grass. Michael, there is a significant difference between landscape grass and AstroTurfs. Okay. People don't know. If I come to your house and you are asking me to do a grass for you in your house,
just to beautify
your house, there is a grass that we need to use. And when you also want a grass for football, there is a particular one that you must use. Mm-hmm. But people don't know, and therefore other people use these landscape grasses as AstroTurf. The installation processes itself is different, okay, from what you would do in your various houses. That is how come that most of these AstroTurfs that you see around, look at what was done in Jamestown. It is gone bad, even though I can say that the attitude of my own people, they didn't help the whole system. Okay. But the quality of the grass was not the best. And I always tell my colleagues that, look, let us maintain these AstroTurfs in terms of the idea we are bringing. And therefore, we must not compromise on quality. On quality. Let us make sure that we use the preferred grass in the installation of this AstroTurf. Because even if you don't use the preferred one, Michael, you are subjecting people to injury. And that is how come Stephen Appiah will tell you that anytime they come to Wembley Parks and they play football, certainly they don't have this knee injury and all that, because we ensure that we have quality grass. Okay. And the installation processes are also.
What has been the major challenges and setback over the last 10 years?
Oh, certainly it has to do with the dollar rate. You know, when we started, it was around 3.8 thereabouts. But today we are talking about 12. And that is demotivating a lot of private people to invest in these AstroTurfs, because you are buying all these things from outside. These are imported products. In West Africa, in Africa, it is only in South Africa that I'm told that a company has started the production of these AstroTurfs there. Because getting the raw material, the fiber and the yarn is not easy at all. And therefore, we are not getting it from most African countries. So you certainly need to change a lot of pounds and dollars in buying them. And Michael, our major challenge has to do with the import duties. You understand? Because if you have to change a lot of money in buying the grass, and it comes and you have to also pay huge sums of money in clearing, it becomes a problem. And more importantly, when most of these companies are being asked to maybe pay VAT on some of these AstroTurfs, you go to the companies that you are going to appeal to them. For example, Ghana Gas, they use their corporate social responsibility budget in financing these ASTRO tests. So once you are charging them a large sum of money in terms of the clearing cost, then certainly the contractor must also transfer it to the client, and then also tax challenges and all that. So we are coming together as a group, as a leading AstroTurf company. I am trying to galvanize my people. We petition government, because if we need to replicate what we have in most of these communities, certainly the cost must come down, and government must also be in a position, and it's part of the proposal we are sending, to give tax incentives to companies that want to construct this ASTRO. For example, what McDan has done, what Zoom Lion is also doing, so that they will be able to motivate others, or it will motivate others to also construct more AstroTurfs.
What is your position on the call for some of our major stadia, our national facilities, to be turned into AstroTurf?
Yes, certainly some can be turned into AstroTurfs, but not all. I will never go for all the stadia to be metamorphosed or changed into AstroTurf. FIFA endorses AstroTurfs, but FIFA will always prefer natural grass as compared to AstroTurfs. You understand? And therefore, we must encourage natural grass in most of our stadia. But certainly, we can also have, when you go to Chelsea, they have natural grass pitches. Then they also have an AstroTurf. Just recently, when we went to, Sao Tome to play football, they played on an AstroTurf.
Yeah. Even Comoros.
Yes, Comoros. So we can blend it. But I would not say that, look, let us change all. Now there's a new product coming up, or it is even up, the hybrid system. And when you go to Turkey, they have the hybrid system where you have the natural grass together with the AstroTurf mixed together. And that technology can be brought so that we can improve.
We understand that as part of the 10th anniversary celebration, you are spending some quality time with widows and orphans on Saturday. Please share details of it and what inspired you to put together.
Certainly, when I look at where I am coming from, or where I came from, I have always said that it is by the grace of God. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people that I can say I roll with. But I believe strongly that on a momentous day like this, I need to share with the underprivileged, people who don't have. And when you look at the Bible, it talks about orphans and widows. I just dug my heart out for people like that. And I think it is a humbling opportunity to get with them, spend some quality time with them. On that, they want to give a lot of gifts to them. You know, Christmas is just around the corner, and that is even what is motivating us. So a lot of gifts will be given to them. We will have to dine with them. We will dance with them.
So the venue is the Ghana Gas Clubhouse, Airport West.
Yes.
Who and who qualifies? Are you extending special invitation to the widows and orphans, or anybody could work?
Oh, no, we have these widows in various communities. We have written officially to them. Transportation has been allocated to them. And then these orphanage schools, they have also been invited to come. So we have selected people who will become, and you are very much invited. You have played a huge and a tremendous role when it comes to Wembley. And let me use this opportunity to salute you and all your colleagues who has helped us.
Okay. Finally, beyond the 10 years, where are we going? Wembley Sports Complex, what's the future?
Yes, the future is bright. The vision is huge. And let me say that looking at what the prospects are for Wembley, I think the sky is the limit. And we pray for strength.
Are you looking at going beyond Ghana to make impact in other countries?
Yes, we have been invited to other African countries. As I speak to you now, some of our operations supervisors are there assessing. But when they come here and they see what we have there here, they marvel. And therefore, they have invited us to come and have a look.
Robert Tetekoman, we are done, but maybe you have one or two people you would want to.
Oh, certainly. Let me use this opportunity, Michael, to say a big thank you to Grace House Chapel, my head pastor, Rabbi Odamiansa. I have always said that to every success, there's a source. And people don't know my source. My source has been God, and through, Reverend or Rabbi Odamiansa. Let me also pay homage to Dr. Sian Ejapon, my mentor, Then I want to pay homage to the former mayor of Accra, Honorable Alfredo Van der Poel, and every Sefri Ankara, as someone who gave us the first opportunity. Then I will also mention Stephen Appiah, Dr. Daniel Macaulay. Your own boss here, Randy Habi, has been phenomenal. Anytime we want an advice, we go to him. All my workers at Wembley, I hold them in IX in Carol Mensah. And then one particular person I want to pay homage to has to do with Dr. Benasanti of Ghana Gas. When you look at the vision he has and the leadership or the extraordinary leadership that he has provided to Ghana Gas, that is what has culminated in us doing most of this AstroTurf. And we are extremely excited and happy and want him to know that we hold him in our esteem.
Okay, thank you very much, Robert Tete Coleman, the king of AstroTurf, the Chief Executive Officer for Wembley Sports Construction Company Limited. I'm sure it's been a fruitful morning, and we've been giving insight into our sporting infrastructure.